Hi, good morning, afternoon, evening, all that stuff. Welcome to Video Games to the Max, episode 466. See, I'm messed up just as bad as the AWS messed up on everybody today. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. Actually, gaming related here. Mark has been playing more Hades too. I got to try out some Keeper for about, I want to say, I guess, like a quarter of the game because it's not that long. Mark's playing some other redacted things he can't talk about right now. I've been playing more Final Fantasy Tactics Evil East Chronicles. We'll talk about the impressions going around on the ROG Xbox Ally X. Sarah Bond's comments on who actually controls the price of the thing. I don't know about that, but also we got some Battlefield 6 good news. We got some I don't know if you call it great news for the new Ubisoft venture already having a big departure. There's a Horizon Zero Dawn movie happening and a lot more. And we'll get into all those things right after this.
You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
All right. Well, Mark, how's things been going with you here?
All right.
Get to do anything this week?
Saturday I went to a Halloween party, and then also played some pinball in an arcade. That was all right.
Hot wing party.
No, Halloween.
Halloween. Okay. Sorry.
Right.
I thought you were gonna tell me that you're on one of those, the Hot Ones show.
No.
No. Yeah. So I did mention last week that we were going to test out a new video stream service to do the podcast. I signed up for it. This is Restream, by the way. Was testing it out, and then immediately at like 3 a.m. is when I didn't know it. Then I thought Restream was just having a problem as a site. So when I was actually working today, is when they talked about, oh, there's an AWS like problem.
Right.
And AWS obviously uses a lot of different, they interconnect a lot of different things. Like Snapchat didn't work for people. Parts of Facebook didn't work for people today. And Restream was a site that's basically all done with AWS apparently. And so the whole site was down. We couldn't use it to try to test anything. And so, yeah, that was the experience with that. And I had experience with it at work and made my job terrible today. So I didn't get to play as much Keeper as I wanted to be able to. I thought I was going to get a lot farther in the game by the time we got to, talk about the show here. So, and we are, for the first time ever, on Kick. StreamYard has added that as a thing we can now use. So, hey, welcome to all of our Kick people there. So, yeah, but we're still, of course, I guess going ahead and getting into the housekeeping stuff really quick. We are on all the places we usually are on, which is mainly the W2 Network YouTube channel, which you can watch us live there. It's supposed to be around 9 o'clock on Mondays, but we started late because of that, because I had to spend a whole hour extra doing extra things at work because this whole thing like derailed everything. So I made everything, and I was trying to test out the Restream thing, and eventually I was just like, okay, let's just go use StreamYard one more time while we still have it and see if we can work out the kinks during the week. If not, then it is what it is. But that being said, it does allow us to be live on YouTube, on Kick, on which Kick is also W2 Network. You can find us there. And you can also just watch later on demand on the YouTube channel. And if you subscribe, follow, all that stuff, you get our other content, which involves some other great shows that we have. One of them is about anime, Otaku Cafe. They review all the weekly seasonal anime that's out there. So the fall season, the final season of the year, just started. They've already done their premiere episode, so you can kind of look at some of the shows that they're looking at reviewing for the season and see if you like it. Or I'm still watching Digimon Beat Breakers, enjoying that. I will probably go back to watching one. I'm behind on One Piece again, so I got to catch up on that. For like, I don't know how many times this has happened where I stopped watching for a while, because it's so funny, because you know how you get used to like binging a show, right?
Yeah.
And then when it stops, you catch up with it. You kind of like get into the whole, I'm not used to doing the whole weekly thing.
Right.
So I kind of let it like just do episodes for a while, and then I'll eventually I'll just go back to binging it. And I think I've done like I'm like 3 months behind or whatever, but they randomly go on pauses now because of Oda being older. So
Right.
I don't know if they've gone on another one of those pauses or not. I got to look into it. But yeah, also you got our Roush Broadcasting folks. They do all the entertainment stuff. They are reviewing the Black Phone 2, which I'm going to be watching today, tomorrow, depending on when you're listening to this, with my daughter. She's excited about this movie. She's been waiting for this movie to come out. So definitely going to be excited to hear what she thinks. She loves the Black Phone one of her favorite movies.
When it comes out in theaters, you got to go see Trick or Treat.
Oh, are you talking about the old one, or they're making a remake?
No, the old one, like the 2007 one. Like it's finally
okay.
getting released in theaters.
Oh, sweet.
For a weekend or something.
Yeah, we watched HBO Max had 2 really good ones recently. Bring Her Back, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
If you're a horror movie fan, honestly, watch both Bring Her Back and The Substance with Demi Moore.
Yeah,
Both
I
of
mean,
those movies are awesome.
Right.
So I did not know what to expect when I watched The Substance, and I was like, "Holy crap, dude!" It's like, yeah, it drives the theme home for sure, but it actually makes you think about, like, there are some people that are that sick, bro.
They really
So
should have got Vince McMahon for that Randy Quaid or that Dennis Quaid.
Yeah,
part.
right. That's exactly who I thought of the entire time when I was watching that with Dennis Quaid. I was like, God, this is like Vince McMahon. So badly. Like I swear he had to have watched some Vince McMahon for this.
When they make the wrestler version of that movie,
Yeah, like somebody's gonna make some movie of Vince with all the bad stuff, right? Like as much as WWE is gonna try so hard to like stop it from happening,
it'll be like the weekend or like the week after he dies, they'll announce the project.
You're probably not lying there.
Yeah.
Honestly. So but no, I've been enjoying some movies, gonna enjoy one on Tuesday, hopefully. But yeah, hopefully no more bad adventures with AWS going down. But it did really like kind of teaches you of like how we kind of talk about how we're all kind of disparate and separated, and it's like these are the kinds of things that sometimes show you how like we're actually so interconnected, and how one thing can go down and it like hurts so much stuff. It shows you not the bad things about consolidation, right? Like when was it Microsoft's? Yeah, Microsoft had one last year, right, where they had something from theirs like go down for almost like an entire day, and something similar happened last year.
Yeah.
So, but all right, let's go ahead and get into the actual video game stuff. What you been playing there, Mark?
I mean, it's a little more Hades too. I finished the review up. I gave it a 10. Good, deserves it, despite like one or two like small issues. And I played some pinball over the weekend. That was all right. The two machines I played.
Yeah, I was gonna ask any particular machines.
Yeah, there's a Dune machine. Based in the movie. Although like they didn't really get like the main characters, or like it's just kind of like establishing video clips of crap. Like, they don't have Timothy Chalamet in it or anything.
Right.
And the table itself is like boring as shit. Like, that's like the weird thing. Like, it's just like, this is not fun. Like,
Yeah.
and another one was they did I think it was Stern made a Black Knight Sword of Fury. Ever heard of Black Knight? Or I doubt it. Black Knight came out like in like the 70s, and it was okay. And then they made a sequel, Black Knight 2000. That one people really like. It has like a really great song, and is just fun. And the
Yeah.
Sword of Fury is not like, it's just kind of boring and like ho hum, or like they didn't have the song. So you guys couldn't license that. Like, what do you get? Or like do a cover or do like a modern version, because like the '80s one is like, it sounds like a hair metal band or something, or like it's just like rockin' tune. And this is all just orchestral bullshit. And it's like, wow, you guys have like missed the point, haven't you?
Yeah. Right.
But other than that, not really. I mean, I'm playing a few games under embargo. One I might be able to talk about next week. I will be able to, and the other one will be another week out. But that's about it. And I'm watching a lot of the Golden Girls.
All right. I mean, can never go wrong with
Right. It
the
helps when you have the
Golden
DVD
Girls.
box.
Okay. Yeah, I watched. I don't know how many episodes of Golden Girls. I mean, I watched Golden Girls growing up,
Oh yeah, so
obviously,
did I.
and then when they put it on Hulu, I watched quite a few episodes and
Right.
tried to get my girlfriend to watch it, and she's like, "This is funny, but also like this is not,
It's
her kind of
dated.
humor at all." So
Right.
it's like, yeah, you
The
definitely
funniest
have to
part.
have grown up with it. I feel like,
Right. The funniest part to me about the show, and I like the show and everything, but like there are occasional episodes where one of the girls is like dating a guy for like a few weeks, and
yeah,
then they're like, "Oh, I think he's gonna ask me to marry him," and I'm like, "Yo, it's been 3 weeks. Like, what are you talking about?" Like,
yeah,
it's like one of the episodes, like dates a guy like this, like oh, not a he does food. He's a caterer at like a wedding, or what, an exhibit.
right.
And she's like, "We've been dating a week," and then he like asked her to marry him, and I'm like, "What? Like,
Uh,
how does this work?"
it's a show. It doesn't all
Right.
have to make sense, but that's also kind of like her character. So
Yeah, but it
in
also
a
happens
way,
like Rose and Dorothy as well. So it's like, all
yeah.
right, I guess.
So we got to be equal opportunity.
All right.
Make the jokes.
But
But yeah.
yep, on to you.
So I played more Final Fantasy Tactics Evil East Chronicles.
Right.
Um, all my characters are like level 20, and I've still only like progressed to like I think
Chapter
the
3.
fourth section. No, I'm not. I'm still in chapter 1.
No.
I just did a lot of grinding to kind of get the jobs like mostly
Right.
out of the way, like down the way a bit, because some of the because there's a lot of to get some of the more expansive jobs, you have to do a lot of leveling with you don't have to get them a lot, the job level doesn't have to be super high, but you
So
have to get like a lot of jobs at once, right, with the one
I
character.
assume it's a lot like, oh, like the basic jobs like fighter or mage are standard, but like to get to like the wizard or like monk or whatever, it's like, oh, those are more advanced jobs. You have to like grind it up.
Right, so there's like the dancer, the bard, the um some of the more like the mage that's like super awesome or whatever. Like you have
Right.
to have like level 5 monk and level 2 dragoon and level 3 thief, and I'm just using an example. I'm not saying that that's all
Right.
I'm saying like with one character you have to have all those. And there's
Yeah.
like different trees on how that starts. So like, you know, it's a lot of trying to get those all the characters kind of like, so I'm not sitting there doing all the grinding at the end. I'm doing it a lot of it at the beginning. So which probably doesn't help me with the story missions, because the random battles, those level up with you.
Right.
But the story missions don't. So
hey, that's fun now because
yeah.
you can steamroll those.
Yeah, it does make it to where I can steamroll those. Or well, they're not really like, I guess it's more of like I know that eventually I'm gonna, as long as I don't just absolutely you know, just I'm not gonna get challenged that much, as long as I'm not just doing whatever, right? As long as I'm confidently going through the mission and trying to. But I have had like where they took down a couple of my characters, and I'm just like, oh crap, do I have
Right.
the character? Because you know, you have to make some decisions. You don't. What I like about it is there is a lot of strategy in it, in that like you're not just every character doesn't just automatically get to use items, right? So you have to decide which one of your characters are going to use items that are not the mages that can, you know, if you have like a white mage, great. But and also those attacks sometimes may not work out. They may not happen, because if that other character moves that you were targeting, then the move just doesn't work. And then it still wastes your MP. So you're like essentially just wasted all that MP for nothing. So it is a lot of like strategy of like, okay, I only can take 5 characters, and some of these characters don't even have any healing ability at all, even though I've done the healing, the path where they can use items and they can use them pretty well. I don't have either one of those jobs equipped to that character, because I'm trying to use him for something else. And yeah, so it is sometimes where it's like, oh crap, I can't let this character die, because then I have no way to heal myself at all.
Right.
So, and it does have permadeath if you don't like revive the character after like 3 turns or something. So it's like, no, I don't want to, because I only have 7. You can like go through a section where you're like essentially just roll a bunch of generic characters, and then you can get them to join your party or whatever. But like if they die, then they're dead, right? So like I only have the 8 characters or whatever I've decided to like level up from generic to whatever they are. And it's like I don't want to lose any of them, because then it's like they're gone and I lose all this work I've done with them, and I don't want to have to start at level 1 again. So, you know, definitely don't want to have to go through that multiple times, for sure.
Yeah.
So trying hard not to, but you can like just, you know, reset the battle before it ends or whatever, or you can just do the story mode also or whatever, if you don't want to deal with the strategy part of that game and you want to just experience the story, which is supposed to be awesome.
Right.
I know a lot of people use this term a lot. It was like Game of Thrones before it was Game of Thrones, but I have heard that this game actually lives up to that moniker some, and then that's where the voice acting helps out a lot more, is that it makes that story a bit much more impactful now than it was when you're just reading text. Not to say that like it didn't matter because you had to read text. It's just, I think with gaming, like it's, I don't know how you feel sometimes going, but I don't know if you've gone back recently to go play like, you know, an older story game or whatever, but it's like it does feel different when you're reading text to when something's voice acted. I don't know
What's
about
that?
what.
I was talking to you about that Star Trek game last week. Like, that is directly off the show, but they don't have the voice acting for it. They've kind of hinted that they're going to get some for it. We'll see how
Right.
much. But like, that's a game with a lot of text. Like, and it's like, I know what these characters sound like in my head, so we'll get
Yeah,
them.
it's like I don't know that I could go. Like I definitely think that Pokemon suffers
Right.
a lot
I
by
don't
not
think it's like
having voice
voice
acting
acting.
when there's so many RPGs that have it now.
See, I don't know if it's necessarily needed with some games though. Like for like Pokemon, like that's not like the story is not the draw in that game.
I feel like it is. At least it
Which
definitely was in Scarlet and Violet.
the
I
story is
don't
not
know
that
about this.
small.
I
Like what
haven't
more do you
played
need?
this game, so I can't say
Right.
whether it is or not. Um,
Right.
but the reason why I haven't like plopped down the money for Pokemon Legends ZA is because the prevailing thought is that the only thing that they got right in this game, as opposed to Arceus, was that the battle system is awesome because it's
Yeah.
very Xenoblade coded, which is great for me. I love
Oh,
Xenoblade.
right.
But if that's the only draw to it, I don't know that that's enough for me to spend $70.
Right.
Um,
Wait till it goes on sale for 68.
yeah, that's the thing. I don't have a need to rush out and buy it because it's never going to go on sale, and if it does, it's like what, $50?
Right.
Like, yeah, it is one of those games that's like, if I ever was going to get something physical, it would be Nintendo above all else because of GameStop's like buy two get one free thing that they do, which I think they're doing it now.
Right.
Because I saw some people, that's how they bought Pokemon, was they just were like, there's this other game that I kind of really want to buy, so why not?
Right.
It's like that. I think that's the only, like, Nintendo, that I think that's part of it too. Is that's why the Switch has, and Switch 2 is going to follow suit. I think they have such a big draw to physical because of that. Because um you don't the games aren't hardly ever go on sale.
Right.
And you can take advantage of when they do happen to do a sale on them physically or go used and drop the price a bit or whatever. Whereas the other ones, it's like, okay, yeah, you're gonna be able to find a physical version of some game for like $20 on Amazon. But they'll also go on sale for quite a bit on the actual digital stores too. So,
All right.
it's so I do think that Nintendo kind of helps itself with that in that way.
Speaking of that, I'll just talk about this real quick. I was at a Walmart earlier because I was thinking about all the stuff we've been talking about Xbox going away or
Yeah,
like getting off shelves. So the Walmart I was at, it's like my local one or one of them. It
right.
had 3 big uh displays or like not closet but big shelving things for Switch games. Like two were for Switch 1 and one's for Switch 2. And the Switch 2 one was like a little emptier, but like they were both pretty full. And then they had a separate display for like the consoles and accessories. PS5 and PS4 were mixed. They had like 2 big uh closets or the things, shelving things. And then they
Mhm.
had like a smaller one for controllers, and then a smaller one for like consoles and accessories, like the disk drive and like charging shit. And the 2 game ones were pretty full as well.
Yeah,
Xbox had one uh display. Uh there were only about 5 consoles in it. There were 5 bigger consoles and the 2 Series S's. They had 7 games.
yeah,
7 compared to the 40 in the Sony one and the 90 or 80 in the Nintendo one. It's like,
yeah.
all
How
right,
many of Xbox's games are like it's not even the disc,
right.
right? It's
Yeah,
like
it's like the games were like Madden, Indiana Jones, uh,
yeah, the ones they know that would sell, right?
Borderlands 4, yeah.
Like college football, maybe.
No, just Madden,
Okay, just man.
right. We're not a big college town, unfortunately, I guess.
I mean, where your state is.
No, yeah, but like my town isn't, because we're
Okay,
not Ann Arbor or
yeah, you're not Ann Arbor, or you're not around Lansing either, I guess.
Right.
So, yeah, but you know, it's yeah, that's interesting. We'll talk about some of the Xbox stuff in a little bit. But speaking of Xbox games, they did release a game over the weekend, Keeper, the new Double Fine Studios joint, and it's pretty good. I think it really kind of depends on how much of Double Fine stuff you enjoy. I think also you kind of have to like. Number one, you have to like walking simulators,
Right.
and then because the first part of the game, like the first I haven't gotten out of it yet. Supposedly, with some reviews that I've watched, the gameplay does change. I don't know how much more it's going to really change. Honestly, you're still the lighthouse walking around.
Right.
There is some like light puzzle stuff in the part that I've already gone through, but none of it is like, oh my god, scratch my head. I'm not going to be able to go through this. Right? It's like, oh, there's 3 things you have to build. Let's go find the parts of it. Or there's these handles scattered around that you have to then turn into a piece, into a one big piece of a thing. It really is built to definitely some people were smoking some stuff here. It wants you to walk around and see its environment, see the art style, see that kind of stuff. There is no voice acting. It's not trying to tell. It's telling your story without words. So it definitely fits into that artsy fartsy category, right? Like it's the one that people call the Game Awards, the Oscars of video games. It is definitely the game that is like it feels like it's going for the Oscar, right? Um, I don't know that it accomplishes that necessarily,
I'd
but
look no.
you know,
Without having played
I,
it. I mean, I know like the basics of it, but no.
yeah, it's a definitely like it's a really good game. I feel like I'm enjoying just being in the environment, doing those kind of things. It's short. I've seen some people said they beat it in like 3 hours, and
Right.
I've seen some people that like explored a bit more, that kind of went off the beaten path a little bit here and there. Beat it in like 6. So it's definitely not a game that won't take that long. It's one definitely built for Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
Ironically, coming out in the last month, the Game Pass exists before the price hike, so you could technically finish it in the little bit of time you got left before they raise the price to $30 a month. Their other game that they have coming out tomorrow, Ninja Gaiden 4, that thing's like 17 chapters long, so I don't know if you're gonna finish that in like 2 weeks or whenever your thing expires. But maybe, I don't know. It has like an 81 on OpenCritic right now.
Yeah, I read some of the
So,
reviews. It's all basically like, hey, the action's good, but the story's bad.
I mean,
Yep.
Ninja Gaiden's never had a great story. Let's be honest.
Right.
It's never been about the story for that game. It's always been just so convolutedly ridiculous. I guess I've heard that this one is less convoluted, so I guess
Yeah, just
that's a
more generic
plus.
or right.
Yeah.
When are
But
they gonna
yeah,
bring back Tenchu?
doesn't Activision have the rights to that?
Probably.
Or
I never.
I don't remember who does.
I
But
mean, I know they made one for like the Wii that sucked, but that's all I can remember.
it definitely has been the year of the ninja, and this is another
Right.
one that you can add to that list between Shinobi, the other Ninja Gaiden games, Shadows.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know. Technically, Yote is a samurai
Same
game.
thing.
So, don't tell people that they are not the same thing.
If you kill people with something sharp, same thing. That means pirates are also ninjas.
Right? Yeah, definitely the same thing there. But no, it is going to be. Yeah, I wonder if we'll ever get the information on how that's gonna work out. What they're gonna be. How do people are actually dropping out of Game Pass after this month? Ironic that
Right.
they, picked it when they had
Well,
three big releases here.
I mean, it's funny because Disney just talked about like how much they lost when Jimmy Kimmel got suspended, and it was like
Oh yeah,
double what they normally would have lost.
yeah. No, it was significant. That's why they did it, because people were
Right.
actually unsubscribing. It wasn't especially when they need people to subscribe right now because of the ESPN
Right.
thing, direct to streaming thing. Um, which I would have unsubscribed if it wasn't because that knocks me out of that bundle, and then I would have had to pay $5 more a month to like be back in it or whatever. So I was just like, I want to because I don't agree with what happened, but it's like I also can't really afford to. And like basketball season's coming up, and I can't. I was like, damn it. It's like the one time
Yeah.
I can not have it the rest of the year, because the one time the Cowboys are on Monday Night Football, I can just watch the Spanish version,
Right.
and then the rest of it I don't. I don't really need ESPN, but because with the plus one, you get a lot of their stuff anyway, and it's like $11 a month or whatever instead of the 30. But yeah, it is what it is with that. Streaming services going up constantly. It's
Yeah.
I don't feel the Peacock one because I pay for Xfinity, but I'm sure that was annoying for a lot of the WWE fans before they moved the pay-per-views off of there.
Right.
So, or the PLEs or whatever. But all right, that's it for the games that we have been playing. Let's go ahead and go into the, I guess, news or review thoughts or whatever. Since we were talking about, I hate to, this is a bad segue, but since we were talking about Ninja Gaiden, I think we would be remiss not to talk about the man that kind of brought it back. Right, they brought back the 3D version of Ninja Gaiden that we're playing now.
Right.
Tomonobu Itagaki, of course, he's known really for as being the creator of Dead or Alive, right? Which also would obviously Ryu Hayabusa is in, and kind of brought back Tecmo into being something. After they'd kind of gone away for a while, they had their heyday in the Super Nintendo years, and then kind of languished until you had those that comeback with the Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive's. And obviously he kind of like obviously as time went on, he did the Devil's Third, which was not a great game.
Right.
He kind of like started going away from game development. As kind of things happen as you get older, but also he had this like he was also a big proponent of the Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball games, which were kind of came under fire for that
Right.
being big targets of this is why you don't have sexuality in video games kind of thing, because it was like straight up like it's only here for one thing and we know why. Right.
Good beach volleyball action, man. What do you want?
Yeah. It's one thing to like you can, as has happened in a lot of fighting game series, right? Over the years, you can hide that stuff in a fighting game, have bikinis and things like that. But when you're like, oh, it's just an entire beach volleyball game, and the other part of it is like almost like a pseudo dating sim,
Right.
that and it wasn't a great time. This is like during the time of like, what's his name, Jack Trenton, or not Trent, Jack, what's his name? The guy that used to like have a crusade against violent video games for a while. That was
Jack
in
Thompson.
government. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. So it sucks.
I mean, like Jack Thompson though is more about like violence in games, not like sexuality per se. Except he didn't like the like one gay kiss and bully.
Yeah.
And that was also like way earlier.
Okay.
Because Itagaki or like still making Dead or Alive. Like I had like the last DOA Extreme Beach Volleyball, and that's like on the Vita.
Yeah. I mean, the one after they got off like the main consoles, it kind of like
Right.
died.
I mean, I think the problem with Itagaki is like after there was a point where he thought like he got like too big for his britches, kind of, or he
Yeah.
thought like he was like the face of the company or face of the franchises, and it's like you're not really. Like you kind of are, but like they obviously kept making crap after you left. So
He also had this axe to grind against Tekken because Harada
right,
kind of like said something
like
about Dead or Alive, and he
yeah, but
didn't.
I read that and I was like, well, like I think he just misunderstood what he was saying, or like it was like some weird like radio insult or something. It's like really, you're getting fed up about that? Like I'd get more fed up that like Tekken is a slightly better game.
Yeah, I mean, he also. It's not only the big for the Brit. He was doing that obviously to get attention, right?
Right.
Like he was trying to kind of do anything to like, oh man, here's his brazen personality. He's look at what he just said. Oh man, then that's
He should
oh,
have
he's the guy that makes Dead or Alive. You know, it's like yeah,
he should have done like a pipe bomb promo or something like CM Punk.
yeah, exactly. But no, I mean, he definitely had his time in gaming. Um,
Yeah, he's still
he did
working. I mean, it's not like he retired or I
no,
just
yeah,
worked with something to do
he
like
had
the
done the Samurai Jack Battle Through Time game
right.
about 5 years ago. He wasn't a director, but he was like advising on it.
Yeah, and he had some like new studio that I don't think it dissolved, but it had problems, or I don't know. Probably
Right,
nothing will come out of it, especially now. But
and still 58 is still pretty young,
yeah,
Um,
especially when they're old. It's not like Miyamoto's getting any younger, like or some of these other old heads. Like I
right,
saw, what was it? Nobu, I forget his last, the Final Fantasy
Uematsu,
composed. Yeah,
yeah,
he was like, "Oh, I'm not going to use AI and music, production." It's like, didn't you retire? Like,
yeah.
he thought, like,
I think remake part 3 is like the last like
yeah, he
major
keeps
thing
saying
that
like,
he's
"Oh,
going
this
to
is going to be my
do,
last game," and it's like,
supposedly.
"Well, you keep
Yeah.
making more." And it's like, "All right."
Well, I mean, he's really not even like he only comes in to do like the main song, and then he like the rest
Right.
of it's done by other people. So
And again, he's
yeah,
not like that old either. He's 66.
yeah,
Like, they're believe me, like, Jens's hero Jerry Goldsmith was directing until like the end, and he died, and he's like mid 70s, I think.
yeah,
So yeah, it's interesting. Mhm.
yeah. It definitely is sad.
Right?
Condolences to the family, and then
Yeah,
he did have
he made his mark, and he made a franchise, and he brought one back, and
yeah,
good to
definitely.
go.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks that like Dead or Alive is kind of like in the ether or whatever now. Where it's just like it became
No, they're making. Oh, I'm thinking of Virtual Fighter. That's right.
yeah, no, yeah, Dead or Alive is kind of like they did that like live service version of was it
Right.
6, and then it's kind of just been there and no
Yeah.
one cared about it. Um, so I mean they did a lot of work with Xbox, right? Like they were big on like being an Xbox and Xbox 360 exclusive
Right.
for a
I mean,
while. Yeah,
it's a problem you have when you're owned by another company, when you're owned by a company that also has a competing 3D fighting franchise that is markedly more popular than the other one.
yeah,
So
exactly. So that's also an issue too.
yeah,
But all right, we go from that to since I did mention, they had a lot of cohesion with Xbox. Sarah Bond did an interview with Variety where, of course, the major sticking point for a lot of people, and I watched a lot of reviews on the thing on the Xbox Ally X and Xbox Ally. is that $1,000 price point, right? And Sarabond in the interview essentially kind of, I guess you can call it shift blame, or just say, hey, this is not our hardware. This hardware was made by Asus. We're kind of just the branding. We're just the marketing. That when it came to pricing, Asus.
My question
Yeah.
to her would be, okay, if this was your device, how much would you be charging for it? And then you
Yeah,
get
the thing is
blank
that this
look
doesn't
back.
help you.
Right.
It doesn't help you when your company themselves have done price increases recently.
Yeah.
So, you can kind of try. Like, this is one of those where it's like, oh, we're so tired of all the negative news about us that's like, okay, let's find a way to like make it to where we're not talking about Xbox and pricing stuff, or Xbox's consoles not dying or
Right.
whatever. So why not do this? Or why, let's try to shift the blame, or say it, well, which is, it's not a lie what she's saying. Technically, it is a ROG ally. Essentially, if you went and bought the ROG Xbox Ally X, or not Xbox, the ROG Ally X, it's essentially that, but just has a better chip in it, and it has that Xbox full screen experience or whatever in it.
Right.
Which, that in itself is not totally great. And Sarah Bond mentions that their goal is to, by the time you have the consoles come out, or whatever this console is going to be, this PC hybrid, that it's going to have better compatibility. And that is seems to be the major thing with a lot of the reviews. It's like, this is a great PC, handheld PC. It sucks as an Xbox. And then when you're going around telling everybody this is an Xbox, when it actually kind of really isn't, and you have to fiddle with it a lot to get a lot
Right.
of these games to run well.
Well, I like the
Yeah.
one part where it's like, if you take the Switch 2 out of the box, it does maybe like an update or two. It'll get it working within like 10 minutes.
Yeah, you got to put all your games on it again or whatever.
Maybe
But
just like
all you have to do,
even just like turning it on, or just getting it to
yeah,
like work on the stores like 10 minutes. Or the Steam Deck's kind of the same way, but like the ROG Ally is like, oh wait, you gotta wait 2 hours because it has to download like
yeah. They're like,
50 million Windows updates, and it's like, what the fuck is going
it's
on?
like,
Like,
also like, why is it updating Teams and like all this other crap that,
why is Teams included at all? Like that'd be the
yeah,
biggest.
like, this is the kind of thing that if you're gonna have a console, a thing that you're gonna tell me is plug it to my TV, I better have an option that does not ever sniff installing all this crap that I don't need.
You know,
Uh,
you know, you know what it comes
yeah,
pre-bundled with? The thing that every gamer wants: a trial version of Office 365.
yeah, like, come on, man. I know some
Yeah,
people dock it and they'll use it as a PC or whatever, but like,
right,
bro, nobody's doing that, man. Like, you stick control. It's a thing that you hold and play games with. Like, I understand that this seems to be a thing that they wanted to just get out there to see what people thought of it, and what people like, if there was excitement for it or whatever. But in 2 years' time, if you guys, if Microsoft cannot allow the Xbox team to actually make like a gaming version of
right.
this, where it just completely goes into the Xbox UI, and I don't ever have to see Windows outside of like, oh, it needs you to install Steam, it needs you to install this. Then you have failed, because that's the whole point. I think the more and more, if you're going to charge whatever it is, $1,200 uh, for that next console, and you're going to have people having to go figure out how to make this thing run
Right.
well, then I don't know. I feel like you're not going to sell the normie gamer.
Right.
Or even the people that are your Xbox console gamers to move over to your next thing, because it's like, well, I might as well just buy a PC. So, or buy a laptop, or, whatever.
Yep.
So if Sony's going to be the only traditional console out there, you may just get a lot more people going over to Sony even more and just being like, okay, well, I'm completely done with your ecosystem,
Right.
or whatever. So I think that definitely what Sarah Bond is saying here, it's great again that they're confirming that there's next gen hardware, but it's like, y'all really need to nail this stuff. Y'all really got to nail, how am I going to play my Xbox games? Is it going to be with an emulator? Is it going to boot into something that's like, oh, it's console mode. Here's console mode. I heard some people talking about, like, they technically could make, like, just kind of like you do with a PC, right? They could say, okay, we need 2 versions. We need whatever version is going to be the PS6 version. That's going to be our console mode version. And then you can have the other version that's like, okay, this is the PC version, where you can go in and mess with the frame rate and mess with the other stuff and decide if you want to overclock something or whatever. Like, you got to get people the simple version that still is plug and play. Because if you take that out of it, as much as, more and more people are going towards PCs and kind of understanding that, I think you're still going to get a lot of the people that are like, look, I've only ever owned consoles. I'm not used to this. And then they'll gladly return it for something much simpler.
Right.
So you had people returning the Portal because they didn't understand that they had to have the PS5 to use it. So imagine that. And that thing is just literally turning it on, putting in your Wi-Fi, and then turning on your PS5 and linking it.
I mean, I don't know if you saw it. I was on Blue Sky, but, like, I think, like, Dan Reichert bought that thing, like the Xbox, and, like, it broke, or part of it, like, busted on him. He couldn't, like, access, like, the thumbprint or the fingerprint reader.
Yeah, because it's like on another button on the top.
Yeah, and then like he couldn't like figure out how to like put in like his password, because like there's no like virtual keyboard, or like he had to like dig like nine steps into it to get to access to it. And I think this is fucked. Like, I'm like, Dan's not like a dumb guy. He might not be like, he's not like a tech guy necessarily, but like he's played video games, or he knows this shit.
Yeah, I saw that, and like Jeff Backlar was like, oh yeah, I stumbled onto the full screen experience by accident after I did like 5 updates or whatever.
I think like Dan had to like basically like use his phone at a certain point to get like a pin or something. I think this is messed up. Like, and that's for like him. Like, imagine like just some like 15-year-old getting that thing. You'd be like, all right.
Yeah, or not even like just somebody our age that has never really played much PC gaming, right? And they're like, why do I have to update Windows? And then not only update, and now I have to update the Xbox app, and now it's updating like 50 things that I'm never going to use, and then it's updating that, and it's like, okay, now I got to update Armory Crate. Now I got like that's another thing too. It's like, I kept seeing how like Armory Crate, the Xbox button, the library thing, they all do the same thing. And it's like,
just like different ways. And it's
why do you have 4 buttons that all do the same thing? Because you have to have this in order for Asus to allow you to have this thing, have the Xbox button. It had to have Armory Crate too. And it's like, this is why you need your own dedicated thing, because having all of these extra things in here is even more convoluted for people. It just makes no sense. It's like, so it kind of just made me be like, well, I don't need this as an Xbox, because it's not going to do the Xbox thing. Like, if anything, I would probably just go buy a used ROG Ally X and just get that. It's like $400 cheaper, and it has almost as good, processing and all that stuff. And either way, I'd just be using it to play indie games and whatever that are like PC only. So, and be able to take advantage of the sales and stuff like that. That, like, as much as the Switch 2 is awesome, there's just certain sales that are like never going to happen on that system.
Right.
So, look, I think it's great that those things exist. I just hope that Xbox is still going to do their own thing, and they do kind of continue to work on it. They have 2 years to work on it,
Right.
maybe 3, depending on what happens if they delay the generation a little bit, as we talked about last week. But yeah, let's see what happens with that for sure. But also interesting, because this could affect the price of the next thing, is there was a report from Nikkei that Microsoft is definitely moving the Surface production starting in 2026 at the earliest away from China, as whatever. This person that's the president says he has a deal with China one day, and then he doesn't have a deal with China the next day, and
right.
whatever. It's a very volatile time for production in China. So, and this is the Surface product that they continue to. That's another thing too. Is like they keep making Surfaces, and I wonder how many people are actually buying those things.
Except for like business people, or like it's so specific that it barely makes a dent.
Like everybody has a tablet. Like a tablet is just so universal.
A tablet it's either one of 3 things. A tablet is either an iPad, it's either like a high-end Android tablet, or it's a low-end Android tablet, and that's it.
Yeah. So that's where it's just like, okay, they keep making these things. That's
They've
why
been
it's
at it
just
for like a decade. It's like, oh, they just started. They keep going away, or they keep going at it. But it's like, how are you increasing your market share at all, or what's going on here? Like,
I feel, it's kind of like Xbox. It's like they have to make the console at some point, because then you lose all the people that are subscribed to Game Pass and are like your only people that are willing to pay for anything. So it's like, oh, we got to keep doing it. So, but this also leads to possibility that it's not confirmed like the Surface, but they also may move Xbox manufacturing out of there. This of course also comes where right now there's talk of 100% tariffs on China, but like this stuff changes by the day, so that stuff doesn't necessarily matter right now, because that's not happening. They're not moving it out of China for like another 6 months or a year. So by the time they move it out of there or whatever, how much of a difference will it make? We'll see. If they do it at all.
yeah.
So, but maybe good news, right? Because Sony hinted that they could do that as well. So even though they've already moved some of their stuff to like other countries,
Right.
But they Hiroki Toki did talk about that they could move it possibly to move it into the United States as well. So also, to those of you that maybe don't use your computers that often, Microsoft Windows 10 security updates have finished as of the 14th.
Yep.
Mark was talking to me about, like, apparently you can sign up for like another year of like free updates.
It's called like the Extension Security Program or something like that. I forget the name of it, but yeah.
But technically right now you're not getting safety and security updates on Windows 10, so they want to push everybody to go into Windows 11, which apparently it sucks even more for gaming. Or
I mean, there are people that like say that Windows 11 is like not bad, or they don't see difference, but like my experience is terrible. So I think it's just random.
My plan is hopefully at some point, like very early into next year, even though pre-builds apparently are like absolutely overpriced right now. Is I'm wanting to really get a laptop.
Yeah.
Also because this one will be 8 years or 9 years old at that point. I really need to get a new one. So that's my plan, is to hopefully move into that territory where it won't matter. I just don't want to install Windows 11 on this thing because it's like, I don't want this to perform even worse than it kind of already does.
Right.
I'm happy right now that it can do this podcast.
Right. I mean, once you get, your computer can handle like the extended security updates program. I mean, that'll be another year at least.
Yeah.
There are ways to like, there's like one Windows 10 version can get up to like 5 more years of security updates if you do some like trickery with it.
Yeah.
I might do that also, because like my laptop is 2 years old. It came with Windows 11 like pre-built or like already on it, and I
Right.
downgraded to Windows 10. So
It's crazy how quickly how long has that been around? Like
Windows 10 has been out for 10 years.
wow. God, how time flies, seriously, man.
Yeah.
But it feels like they supported Windows XP like longer, but maybe they didn't. It just
That was like 17 years, or that was
okay,
like
yeah. See, like
that was
so
because like Windows XP was like very institutionalized or like so ingrained in certain
yeah,
aspects
and then
that
also it
like
didn't help that like nobody liked Windows 8.
right.
So it's like Windows 8 was like a before its time because it was like when we just started getting people started really using tablets and touchscreens.
Yeah, but then the problem with
Yeah.
Windows 8 is it doesn't do either one well. So
Yeah, it like does it, and then what sucks is like Xbox's UI at some points has like some
right.
Windows 8 like remnants, it feels like.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, we're not even this computer, like because it still has like the apps, the Microsoft App Store
Right.
thing, and it's like it wants you almost sort of to be like a tablet, but it's like I don't want to install the apps that way. It's like
Right.
no. So yeah.
But yeah, I'd
But
look into extended security update, and then if when you get a new laptop, try Windows 11, and if you don't like it, go back to Windows 10.
yeah, for sure. But all right, moving from that, something that maybe could impact gaming as a whole, because we have heard our government talk about, violent video games, and that's why the ESRB exists, all that stuff, because it was an issue in the 90s. But it feels like right now, with all the other things going on, it has kind of come up with all the political issues and violence,
Right.
especially in the United States. It feels like, unfortunately, we can't get away from some mass shooting happening almost every day. In Mexico, they are it's already gone to their Senate, so some part of it has already voted on this. There's a proposal that would tax games rated essentially M and adults only. There's not really that many adults only games, to be fair.
Right.
None that are like mass market anymore. That was only like, what was it, BMX, Triple X, when we had that time where like people were really trying to push the
Yeah, but that
envelope.
was like only the one, or it's
Yeah.
so it's
And
all
then they
this like weird.
quickly censored it because they were like, "Oh, nobody's gonna buy this game."
Yeah,
So,
it wasn't gonna be sold in like Walmart or or it was like that and like the Punisher game, and they quickly censored both.
right. So in Mexico, it's rated C and D. So C is like the M rating, and then D is adults only. It was first proposed in early September that they found studies relationship between the use of violent video games and higher levels of aggression among the adolescents, which that has always kind of been a gray area of whether that's really been proven or not. But nowadays, as more studies come out, they literally have studies that negate each other half the time when
Right.
it comes to health. So you should never know. But this new tax would apply to all games, both physical and digital. For free-to-play titles, there would be an 8% tax that would be applied to in-game purchase and microtransactions. So even free-to-play games would not be able to escape this, which I'd imagine if you start affecting that group, you could definitely have issues there if you're putting taxes on even the microtransactions and stuff.
Right.
So it is going to the Senate to be debated, but this could obviously affect like Grand Theft Auto 6, Mortal Kombat, anything that kind of has like that violent tinge to it, right? Any kind of, there's a lot of games nowadays that come out mature rated and we don't even think about it because of how much in the background that rating system has become. Honestly, it feels like. So are you concerned that if this gets passed in Mexico that this may give other governments the kind of the impetus to say, oh, let's do that here too?
No, because I think if it happened in like Mexico, what they would do, a lot of game companies would just turn off access, and
You
then
think so?
yeah, and then wait for people to get pissed, and then they'll veto it or revoke it or whatever.
I don't know. I could see our government at least putting it out there that this might be. I mean, it's been brought up before. I could see it
Well,
being
the
brought up
the
as
other
let's vote.
the other
So
thing about what you're saying though is it would mean giving credit to Mexico, and that under the current administration that would never fly. So
right. I just think I feel like the issue with this is how much would the ESA get involved as they are a lobbying group for all the publishers.
right,
In the United States, at least, like how much of, especially when you're talking about like we're going to make it a problem for you to buy Grand Theft Auto 6,
right,
perhaps the biggest video game release of all time. I don't know. I feel like that's not gonna fly very well, right? Like,
right. I mean,
I feel like
that's what I was talking about. Yeah, like if you screw with people them wanting GTA 6 or what Mortal Kombat or whatever, they'll just get pissed, and then they will start violence.
yeah. Like, I wonder what. But yeah, I think even the companies, like I think Rockstar would definitely start challenging that in court. Of is that constitutional, all that kind of stuff,
Right,
So, but it is interesting if this to see a law like this pass. We do have other regions that like have stricter stricter rating policies and that kind of thing too that already exists. So um the EU and the UK do a great job of like trying to be very pro against gambling and microtransactions and stuff like that as it is. So but this is like a different thing. You're essentially just taxing something because it has a, like, imagine if we did this with like R-rated movies, right? Like
right,
we made the tickets already more expensive immediately because it was an R-rated movie. I don't know. That just doesn't seem to work here.
right,
Assassin's Creed, one of their major contributors in the recently for the franchise, Mark Alexis Cote, has left Ubisoft. This basically occurred because of the Vantage Studios subsidiary that has, is majorly owned by Tencent, but
right,
still being run by, a member of the Guillemot clan. He was kind of like asked to leave essentially,
right.
but
Yeah,
then
yeah,
because he kind of basically just wasn't cool with it, right? He
I mean, would you be
I
like
wouldn't either. No, I wouldn't. But there's a lot of people that will turn a blind eye because of it's like they're just. It's kind of like the Saudi Arabia thing, right? Like
right,
with EA, it's like there's opposition, right? We already have some people in Congress trying to make a big deal about it, and I think their union already voted against it. Not that they really have much say because it's how much say do they really have? It's more about the investors and all that stuff that would have to turn it down.
right,
But yeah, I think they kind of just they know that he's going to be against it, so it's like, well, you might as well get you to go,
right,
before you're already locked in, and then it becomes a problem. Um, look, I'm more worried about this as far as like not. I don't know how much more Tencent's involvement really matters, because it's not like Tencent didn't already have probably had a bit more say than they want to let on
Right.
in Ubisoft as it currently exists anyway. I'm more worried about what this means for like the franchises that are still around, in that, like, they said they're making essentially like an Assassin's Creed everything, like multiple games, all kinds of different like Assassin's Creed things. And it's just like, man, we are really just going to town on one franchise here.
Well, yeah, because it's all they got left.
Do you worry about that? Like, essentially just the sales will just keep dwindling to the point where maybe you don't get another Assassin's Creed at one point? Or
I mean, in the long run, maybe, because I know, I assume whatever Assassin's Creed 4 thing they're going to do is probably going to be okay, depending on how bad they fuck it up or not.
right, they still have that Hexy, the Salem Witch Trials one.
Right. And that might be okay, but I mean, you can only kind of go back to that well so often, and it's not like Call of Duty when they can just pump one of those out every year or every 2 years. Like, Assassin's Creed games take time, and I think the problem is like that franchise has lost a lot of what it was or what it made it special. And I like Shadows, don't get me wrong, but it ain't the best game in that franchise. Even by it's probably like near the middle,
Yeah. I mean, I just wonder like what it means for, like, we already know they're making seems like a live service Far Cry.
Right.
So
I mean, the bigger there's I forget this celebrity that they were rumoring with that recently, like, oh, this big name actor is going to be in Far Cry 7. It's like, what, for 20 minutes, like just like Giancarlo and the last one, show up for like a day or two to act, and that's it. Like, who
yeah.
cares?
And they did heavily promote him for that game.
Yeah, like I said, he's in it for like a half hour, or he's barely in it. So it's like,
Yeah.
what a waste. Or like, I mean, I like Giancarlo Esposito, don't get me wrong, and he is kind of a name, but like, to base like a lot of your like marketing material on him and him not being in the game at all, or barely, like, that seems kind of like a lie.
Yeah.
And then like they can't even get like their other franchises off the ground. Like, who knows about Splinter Cell or that other Prince of Persia, either one at this point, like the remake of Sands of Time and that other one, the roguelike one.
Yeah. Well, the roguelike one is out there.
It's out, but isn't it from like early access, or like, who knows?
Yeah.
How long it'll be till they just like, all right, it's finished enough,
Yeah, that remake is the one that's interesting.
Still way out.
Like, is that ever gonna actually get made?
Right. Don't worry though, we still got Beyond Good and Evil 2 to save all their asses.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see. I mean, look, Shadows has done well.
Right.
But as time goes on, will they be able to keep capitalizing on that?
I really want them to stop. I mean, I guess it has to be profitable because they keep putting it in there, but I want them to stop the live service crap on Assassin's Creed, like, altogether, and get back to like the actual framework of the story of present day people going in the past, in their past memories, but they've lost track of that completely.
It's that's just totally lost.
The funny thing is, like, Jens doesn't like Assassin's Creed because of that conceit. Like, even to like the first game, he was like, oh, he's basically like, I don't like it when they went, what's in the present, but they're going into the past. Like, why couldn't they just make a cool, past action game, or stealth game or whatever? It's like, because then you can't make sequels, or then you can't go into other other time zones or other areas to explore. Like, that framework is great, because it lets them do, Ninja Assassin's Creed or going into Victorian England Assassin's Creed, but they've just like ditched it, and now it is basically what he wants. Like, nope, present day bullshit. And so here we go.
Yeah, definitely. Moving on from that to another company that making some weird decisions, Quantic Dream.
Right.
They're still apparently working on that Star Wars story game, but
Right.
now they are apparently working on a competitive multiplayer team-based 3v3 strategy and action game with a fantasy setting. It seems like they're trying to do a lot of things at once here.
Right.
You're taking control of Steelcasters, who are archetype-driven mages with their own identities, roles, and signature abilities, including summoning creatures and casting spells. You can fly around the arena. It's supposed to be a 3v3 fast-paced 25-minute showdown across mystical arenas of epic skill and verticality. There's a deck building system in it.
Of course.
That has your 50 spells and summons.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is from a company that's obviously known for the epic,
Single players. Right.
Single player games. It doesn't mean that they can't do that, right?
No, it does. It means they can't do it. Because look what just happened to Firebreak and Remedy.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Or I don't know why studios do this. It's like, unless like what they make doesn't sell, in which case, yes, pivot to try to do something else. But if you're good at one game genre or one game, game type, and you try to do a 180, it's almost always going to fail.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. Like it's kind of weird because it's like, for one, it's just like out of nowhere you announce this,
right,
and it's like, okay, this is a lot in one post to kind of tell us.
It feels like they're trying to like throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, here's all of the buzzwords of things that we know people like nowadays.
I mean, the only two they're missing is roguelike and Souls-like.
Yeah, right. Who knows if they don't try to make it a roguelike as well?
Right.
Somehow. Look, I don't want to hate on something, but
Well, let me ask you: does this interest you at all?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, it just it weirdly smacks of like Sony's like live service mantra, or like their requirement, but they're not owned by Sony. Like, so what's going on here? Like, did David Cage just lose his mind, which is a distinct possibility, don't get me wrong, but
yeah, maybe. It could. No, I mean, I just think that it's like almost every studio now. I think it kind of shows the whole. Oh, we've got to find a way to have recurring revenue,
right?
To be able to kind of be self-sufficient, because we can't get enough funding with the one game that we're making.
Yeah, but like, what costs more, a single player Star Wars game or whatever thing you're gonna make next, or a multiplayer shooter or a multiplayer card game deck battler? Like,
yeah.
I mean, multiplayer is always going to be more expensive because you have to build the infrastructure to support a multiplayer game. Single player is simpler because of course it is.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's like it is. I mean, but that's the thing, is like they're used to doing certain things a certain way.
Right.
They can tell these grand stories, which we know, but it's like, okay, and you can weave that into multiplayer games or whatever, but it's like most people don't care.
Right.
And if you do, it's gonna be something that like you think about it for a moment and you go back to playing the multiplayer part, and it's like, if this sucks, it's like, well, then you just this is a major issue that a lot of this with same thing with Sony, right? It's like, okay, we do these awesome single player games, but it's like, man, we need one of these multiplayer games to hit, because
Right.
if we don't, how can we justify spending all this money on Spider-Man or Intergalactic or whatever other thing?
Right.
Same thing with like partially probably the reason why Sucker Punch can't be more than a one game studio. That
Well,
yeah.
no, Sucker Punch wants to stay a single player studio. And it's like,
Well,
yes.
no, like they're saying that they can only do one game,
Oh,
right? That they want to remain a one game studio. They don't want, because people have been talking about like, oh, y'all should go back and make Sly, right? Or
I mean,
go back and do Infamous.
they don't.
And
Here's the thing: is like, if they don't want to do Sly, that's fine. But no one else is stepping up to the plate to do it either. Like, you have to wonder: are they holding on to it, or is some other studio is like, hey, we can make Sly, we can make a better Sly game, like a modern one.
yeah,
Would they allow it or not? Or are they like territorial about their franchises?
I don't know if it's that or if it's just Sony, right? Like, you already have Astrobot. We know that Insomniac is working on now. Insomniac is big enough where they can do multiple games, right? So they
Right.
are apparently there is a small team that is supposedly rumored working on the next Ratchet and Clank. So you already have two studios working on the platformer, more family game,
Yeah,
right?
but Sly doesn't quite fit into that because it's a stealth game, or
Yeah,
nominally it is.
I know, but it's still a platformer also.
Right.
And again, like they had that Ansaru studio do 4. It's just a problem nobody bought it.
Yeah.
I don't think that most people aren't gonna really pay attention that it's not Insomniac, man, or that not Insomniac, that it's not Sucker Punch, right? Like people are
Right.
just gonna see Sly 4 and they're gonna either buy it or they're not.
Yeah.
And it was a competently well done game, regardless of whether it wasn't Sucker Punch or not. I just think that it's like, I understand what Mr. Fleming is Brian Fleming saying is that whatever they make is going to take 5 years at minimum.
Right.
So whatever we choose to do, it's like he says, it's like deciding to picking a new major every year, every time.
Right.
And he's like, we're not big enough to be able to do like, some of us go and do a new Sly, some of us go and do a new Infamous, which Infamous, I do think that it's been long enough where you could do remasters of Infamous 1 and 2.
Right.
And I think they could do decent, but also I do agree that it's like Insomniac also has a hold on the superheroes. Does somebody want something that's a superhero game that's not the Marvel ones that are already exist in the Sony banner, right?
Yeah, I think Infamous you could, uh, because it lets you be a lot more creative, or you can just do
Yeah,
whatever you want because not beholden to Marvel or whatever weird rules they're gonna have. Uh,
right.
and it's gonna be like, oh, like I don't know how much open world that Wolverine game looks like personally. Like,
I
I
don't
think it's
think
gonna be
it,
like,
honestly, it really shouldn't be, because it's not like Wolverine's known for like, let's go all across the city or whatever, like
yeah,
Spider-Man. It's like,
it's not like he can like web swing. I mean, he can like
yeah,
climb up walls, but it's like, okay, what do you do after that? And it looks
just
a lot more
kick
like,
his ass as Wolverine.
I
That's
mean,
what
it looks
people
a lot
want.
more like linear than Spider-Man, or it looks a lot more like that Wolverine game from like 15 years ago, which is fine.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, but I think like an open world superhero game is still great.
Yeah.
And I think, like, again, I think some other studios should take a crack at like Infamous, be like, oh, here's a whole new character or a whole new set of powers, and
Yeah.
here you go.
Sure. All right, so a couple of things just to kind of end the show here. Battlefield 6 has sold a lot.
Right.
More than 7 million copies in its first 3 days, which is setting a record for series sales. It had 172 million matches played online over the 3-day weekend, which is crazy. Over 15 million hours watched on streaming services.
Right.
Feels like EA has a big hit on its hands here after all the, you know,
So for the next few weeks, and then Call of Duty will come out.
that's going to be the thing, right? Is like, is there going to be this rivalry with Battlefield 6 and Call of Duty? Are there going to be people saying, look, I'm not playing Call of Duty, I'm just going to go back to play Battlefield? Like,
Right.
That's going to be fun. Like, you know what? Gaming needs these kind of things. Like, that's the thing that I really miss again from the big, like the football games not only being having one, and the basketball games only having one, and baseball, same thing of like, it was cool to have like competing people saying like, oh man, I rock with 2K, I rock with Madden, I rock with, and it's
Right.
like same thing, even like EA football is such a shell of itself that it's like it's de facto that it's EA Sports FC, even without the FIFA license.
Right.
So,
Well, I put a football story in there for you. So
yeah, I know. I was trying to segue myself there. FIFA did finally, after there was rumors that they might sign a deal with 2K. They supposedly signed a deal with like a mobile game thing, but they have signed a licensing deal for Football Manager, which will unveil for the Football Manager 2026. Of course, 2025 one got canceled. But it's going to have the FIFA World Cup, FIFA Women's World Cup, FIFA Club World Cup, all that stuff. All 48 teams with official kits and all that stuff, which that's cool. Hey, that makes Football Manager 26 more appealing to people, I guess. But Football Manager 26, very much like the EA one, already has a player base. Like,
right.
I don't think it needed this really to push people because yeah.
You have to wonder how much is this going to generate new players or new customers? Like, is it going to
I
move the
think
needle
it
at all?
will. It helps also that it's on Game Pass and all that stuff, which it
Right.
has been for many years now. But like,
Well,
I do think it'll get some people right, but it's not. It's a different brand of. You're not going out there and playing. You're not out there on the field on the
right.
pitch.
Yeah.
You're controlling which a lot of people do like to do that. This is more of the hardcore, already know about soccer player base.
Right.
This is essentially taking the extreme parts of the player base and going, oh yeah, I love the tactics part of the which I love that part. I love that part of soccer too.
So it's going to be like tactics where the monk is the best class.
Exactly. Yes.
But no, what I was going to say,
yeah.
like,
Go ahead.
does this move the needle enough for how much it's going to cost? And I doubt it.
I mean, I think it will definitely help sell, right?
Yeah.
If this is the official game of the FIFA World Cup or whatever, then yeah, it'll sell. It'll move some people. I wonder how many people are going to realize that you can't play on the field.
Right.
Yeah,
it's basically a head coach.
Yeah, you're playing like that old NFL coach game or whatever. So it's like you can move the pieces around and you can decide who plays and whatever, but you're watching like a simulation version of it,
Right.
So it's kind of like the fantasy football version of that. Which again, this is a very popular game. Already has its fans. It's gonna sell in its niche. I do think that this helps people that necessarily don't play those games maybe sell, but I don't think it's gonna be like this explosion of sales outside of the regions that already play these games. So yeah, I do wonder how much of a licensing fee there is for this, like you said.
Yeah.
And how much this is really gonna do anything. Like I said, I do think that having the official branding of the FIFA, this is the FIFA World Cup game,
Right.
is gonna help. But it's like it almost feels like we talked about with the ROG Xbox Ally and the port or whatever. How many people are gonna be like, oh, this is not like
Yeah.
FC?
This isn't like
Like, let
a
me take
game.
this back.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that if you're looking at it and going, oh, the World Cup, whatever, like, please do your due diligence before you buy it. Because, it's not like
Right.
Football Manager. Sometimes it's there at a discount. Like, it might be there for like $50 or whatever, $60, but it's not like it's a cheap game.
Right.
So,
Remember that Wrestling Federation game I wanted you, or like
yeah,
Adam tried to stick me with, and I tried to stick it with you.
yeah. That definitely not for me.
Right.
I have a friend that loves that kind of stuff. But yeah, it'll do fine. No, it'll be fine.
Right.
But yeah, let's go ahead and end the show as we always do, looking at the games that are coming out in this upcoming week. I did already mention probably the biggest one, which is Ninja Gaiden 4, will be out by the time you're listening to this.
Yep.
It'll be out on PC, PS5, Xbox, and on Game Pass. Jurassic World Evolution 3. I'm surprised you didn't. Did you try to get a code for that?
Nope.
No. Okay.
I don't really like city builders that much. I mean, I try to, but it's just
Yeah.
a genre I can't crack.
The remake of Painkiller also comes out the same day for the same consoles. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 also comes out the same day.
It's finally out.
Finally, after all this time.
After 9 years of development or whatever. Like,
yeah, changing developers, changing all this kind of stuff.
right.
Dispatch, the next, like, the superhero tinged narrative game from the people that do the Telltale games. This is PC and PS5 only. That's going to come out in a cadence of like 2 episodes every couple weeks.
Right.
So if you buy that, just know that you're not getting the whole game in one go. Angry Video Game Nerd 8-bit game is also coming on the 23rd. That's coming to like everything. Bounty Star, which is the next Annapurna thing, which is like a mech with a roguelike and something else. Coming to everything
way
but
up your
Switch.
alley then.
Definitely not for me. Double Dragon Revive also coming to everything but Switch. Been waiting for that Double Dragon game. Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Persona 3 Reload comes to Switch 2. Some folks are excited about that. That don't have another way to play it, and they can only play it on Switch 2. I'm sure that definitely go check this out. Plants vs. Zombies Replanted. I know you said you were kind of looking forward to this.
Right. Hopefully it's good and not full of usual EA garbage.
That's coming to everything, literally.
Right.
Power Wash Simulator 2 is also coming out on the 23rd. So definitely, I love the first game. A lot of people did, obviously.
Right.
Great game to just, hey,
lots of Golden Girls too.
Yeah, we'll put it on podcasts and Zen,
right.
that kind of thing. So it's also going to be day one Game Pass as well. So hey, they said they were bringing the games. They definitely brought it for October, man. They are bringing a lot of games here, and they got Outer Worlds 2 coming. Those reviews actually are coming this week, I think on Thursday or Friday for Outer Worlds 2. So let's see how that goes. The Lonesome Guild, which looks pretty neat, cutesy, that's coming on to PSI, Xbox, and PC. Jackbox Party Pack 11 they're still making those and rocking it, and that's coming to everything as well. Tormented Souls, done by a Latin American dev, is also coming out on the 23rd as well. Yeah, there's a lot. And Once Upon a Katamari, also coming on the 24th. That's coming to everything.
I want that.
Yeah, that looks really cool. The first new Katamari game in like 9 years or something.
More maybe, but yeah, like at least like console one.
Yeah, so console, because they have that new one that's only for like Apple Arcade or whatever. But
right,
yeah, it looks like it's going to be awesome. So yeah, a lot. Hot Wheels and Fast and the Furious having a game on the same day. And also that Chicken Run game is coming out on October 24th as well. Chicken Run Extraction, that's coming to everything. Dora the Explorer has a game on the 24th. My God, everything is coming during this week. So
our game of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. But it's definitely, I kind of tend to say this a lot sometimes, but this week, definitely, there is something for everybody here. If you're, you kind of tend to keep up with the new-ish games, and, you're waiting for something before we get to the Call of Duties and all that.
Right.
Something worth checking out there. But all right, until next week, thank you everybody for watching, listening. We do appreciate you checking out the show. Follow, like, subscribe, listen wherever you can on podcasts or watch us on YouTube. And we'll see you later.
Later.